Alright, we're on page 116. This is the guided practice for lesson 5.2. We're going to be adding and subtracting decimals. The first two, the directions read shade the grid to find each sum. And so the first number is 72 hundredths. So I'm just going to count by tens, and I'm going to count entire columns here. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 72. And then I've got to add 19 to that, so I'm going to switch colors here. 19 would be this is 8, and 10 would be 18, and 1 would be 19. And how many is that total? Well, it's 91 total, 0 and 91 hundredths. If you wanted to check your answer there, you just simply add up 72 hundredths and 19 hundredths. You just add them just like this, and you would get the same answer. You'd get 91 hundredths. Alright, number 2 is 38 hundredths. So I'm going to count out 1, 2, 30. So 3 columns is 30, and then 8 singles would be 38. And then I'm going to do plus 40. So there's 2, and 10 is 12. And 10 more is 22. And 8 more would be a total of 40. And we can just kind of count that by. So these 2 plus these 8 would be 10. Oh, I think I'm short one row there. 10, 20, 30. I'm short one whole row. That's going to be better. That's going to be 40. This right here, I didn't explain this, but this right here, 0.4 would be the same as 0.40. So if you add up 0.38 and 0.40 and x is 0, you would get 0 and 78 hundredths. Alright, let's go ahead and check out 3, 4, and 5. And there's two things we're supposed to do here. We're supposed to actually add them, and we're also supposed to check that it's reasonable by rounding. We could do that estimation piece first if we wanted to. 54 and 87 hundredths is close to 55. 7 and 48 hundredths is close to 7. You add those up, you get 62. Now when we actually compute, our answer needs to be close to 62. If it's close to 62, we feel like we got it right. 7 plus 8 is 15. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 1 is 12. And 6 plus 5, or 1 plus 5 is 6, 62.35. I feel like that's the right answer. It's really close to 62. Alright, 2.19, that rounds to about 2. 34.92, rounds up to about 35. 2 plus 35 is 37. So when I compute, I need to get close to 37. 9 plus 2 is 11. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 1 is 11. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And 3 plus 0 is 3. So we get 37 and 11 hundredths. That's very close to 37. Alright, so this gets a little bit tricky over here. If we wanted to round 0.2, that actually really would round down to 0. And 3.74 would round up to 4, and 0 plus 4 would be about 4. Now, if you rounded differently, like if you rounded this to 0.2 and you left this at 3.7, you'd get 3.9. 3.9 is very close to 4. The estimation on that's not super important. As long as if we get in the range of about 4, then we're in good shape. First thing you got to notice though is that there's nothing to add this 5 to, so we annex a 0, and then we do 5 plus 0 is 5, and then we do 1 plus 4 is also 5, and then we do 2 plus 7 is 9, and 3 plus 0 is 3. 3.955. That's very close to 4. So I feel good about all three of those answers. Let's go ahead and move on to the bottom of the page. So we're switching over to, on 6 through 8, we're switching over to subtraction. We're also going to do the same thing where we were doing earlier. We're going to round and check our answers. I'm going to do the rounded answer first. 10 minus 7 is 3. So our actual computation here should be close to 3. I'm going to go ahead and do 3 minus 6. You can't do, so you borrow. I'm going to make this 13. 13 minus 6 is 7. And 6 minus 1 is 5. And 9 minus 7 is 2. I got 2.57. 2.57 is very close to 3, so I feel good about that answer. 18 and 419 thousandths rounds down to 18. 6 and 47 hundredths rounds down to 6. 18 minus 6 would be about 12. If we get close to 12, we'll be in good shape. First thing you should notice is this is 3 digits and this is 2, so we annex a 0. 9 minus 0 is 9. 1 minus 7 is I need to borrow. So I have 11 minus 7 is 4. This became a 3 when I borrowed, so I got to borrow again. This is now 13. minus 4 is 9. And then the decimal comes straight down. I know this is a little messy. If you have a whiteboard, you can make yours a little neater than mine. Now I've got 7 minus 6 is 1, and 1 minus nothing is 1. So I've got 11.949. That's very close to 12. I use this little squiggly equal sign right here. That's very close to 12. So I feel like that's the right answer. 5.006 rounds to about 5, and 3.2 rounds to about 3. My difference should be around 2. And next, a couple zeros here. 6 minus 0 is 6. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 2 you can't do, so you borrow. You may get 10 minus 2 is 8. Decimal comes straight down. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1.806 is close enough to 2 that we feel like we got it right. Go ahead and move this down so I can see the whole page. I'm going to make a little whiteboard here. And I'll try to maybe show most of my work here. We'll see. Let's see if I have enough space. And these are pretty simple. I kind of suggest that you go through and do these. Go ahead, maybe hit pause, try all these, and then check answers. Just pay attention to the sign though, because it changes back and forth. So number 9 is 17.2 plus 12.9. That's addition. And I write, they give it to you horizontally, but I definitely write it vertically to where your decimals are right on top of each other. 2 plus 9 is 11. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So the answer is 30 and 1/10. Number 10 is 28 and 341 thousandths plus 37 and 5/10. I wrote 35, so I got to change that to 37. 5/10. I'm going to annex zeros here. And double check your sign, make sure it's addition. It is. 1 plus 0 is 1. 4 plus 0 is 4. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. 3 plus 2 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. I get 65.841 thousandths. Number 11 is subtraction. Pay attention to that. We've got 25 and 36 hundredths minus 2, almost put the 2 in the wrong spot, 2 and 004. So pay attention that your decimals are on top of each other, lined up, and then pay attention that these are different lengths, and immediately annex a 0. Then if you annex that 0, you're going to go to the 6 and borrow to make this 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. And 5 minus 0 is 5. And 3 minus 0 is 3. And 25 minus 2 is 23. Now, if for some reason on any of these you are not sure of yourself, you can either check your work by adding, or you could always just pop it into a calculator too. I know that I'm right here, but I don't mind showing you that we could punch in 25.36 minus 2.004. Type everything in carefully. And like I said, 23 and 356 thousandths. All right, let's check out number 12. Number 12 is 15 and 52 hundredths minus 8 and 17 hundredths. And I'm going to need to borrow because I can't do 2 minus 7. So I'm going to borrow and make this 12 minus 7, that's 5. And 4 minus 1 is 3. And borrow again, it's going to end up being 15 minus 8 is 7. The difference is 7 and 35 hundredths. Number 13 is 25 and 68 hundredths plus 12. There's no decimal on 12, so that makes it a whole number, which means it goes right here. If you want to annex some zeros there, you can make 12 as in 12. It's kind of like money, $12. 68 cents plus 0 cents is 68 cents. And 5 minus 2 is 7. And 5 plus 2 is 7. And 2 plus 1 is 3. It's 37 and 68 hundredths. All right, one more subtraction problem, number 14. We've got 150 and 25 hundredths minus 78. 78 is a whole number. It's kind of like $78. So you put 78 in the whole number and then annex a couple zeros. And this is subtraction, so I'm going to do 25 minus 0 is 25. I'm going to borrow here. 10 minus 8 is 2. And I've got 14 minus 7 is 7. The difference is 72, 25. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and erase all my work here. I'm going to move this whiteboard out of the way so we can see the rest of the page. Alright, 2 more problems. 3, I guess. 15. Perry connects a blue garden hose and a green garden hose to make one long hose. The blue hose is 16 and 5/10 feet. The green hose is 14 and 75/100. How long is the hose combined? So we're going to add those up. Combine means add. So we're going to add up 16.5 and 14.75. And whenever you notice them different lengths, you can easily fix that by annexing a 0. Combine means add, so we're going to add them up. 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 plus 7 is 12. 6 plus 4 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. You get 31 and 25/100, and that's not good enough answer because it asks for a length. How long is it? Well, the unit is feet, so it's 31 and 25/100 feet. The answer has to include a unit of feet. Number 16, Keisha has $20.08 in her purse. She buys a book for $8.72. How much does she have left? That's definitely subtraction. $20.08 minus $8.72. It's going to require a little borrowing. No big deal. 8 minus 2 is 6. But you can't do 0 minus 7, so we're going to borrow. This one becomes 9, and this one becomes 10. So I've got 10 minus 7 is 3. And 9 minus 8 is 1. And 1 minus 0 is 1. And it says how much. We're talking about money. How much money is that? It's $11.36. Number 17 says, how is adding and subtracting decimals similar to adding and subtracting whole numbers? The important thing is you need to line things up by place value. When it comes to whole numbers, you need to line up, the ones and the tens and the hundreds. When it comes to decimals, you need to line up the ones and the tens and the hundreds, but also the tenths and the hundreds and the thousandths. Alright, great job. You are done with page 116.